Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, today is a very special episode. So we brought Charles Tyrrell back, and he's the CEO and managing partner at Tyrell Law. And big announcement today, the book that we launched together is finally live. So Charles, come on, man, we made it.
That's great news. Congratulations, Adam. I know you put a lot of work into this as well.
So, Charles, I'm excited to have you back on the show. I know maybe some of the listeners and the visitors that have been watching us for a long time caught part of the first episode that we did together, and where we talked about the book that would be coming out. Now we finally are here. The book's live. It's doing great, and I want to do a deep dive into your writing and really what the inspiration behind it was. But before we do that, we'll start this episode the way that we start them all, with our Mission Matters Minute. So, Charles, we at Mission Matters amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. That's our mission. Charles, what mission matters to you?
The mission that matters to me is helping people relocate from their home country to the United States in the most easy, efficient possible way to help their lives become stress-free during the process, because it is a very stressful, hard process for those families.
Yeah, it's great. And one of the reasons why we're so excited and happy to have you part of our Mission Matters community, and as well as a now published author, our author community as well. So first thing first, I mean, the book and your participation in it, it's an honor to publish your work. And I think let's start there. So talking more about the book and kind of the chapter and subject matter, there's a lot of different ways you could go with this. And what I liked about your approach was that you're obviously very authentic, very vulnerable. You talk about starting over in your chapter. What was the inspiration for this?
Well, I was trying to see what I could best share with the community, with your readers, with your audience. And I know that a lot of people are scared of starting over. Most people find their own comfort zone and they're afraid to go outside of it. And I just want to let people know that everybody has it within them to start over. And here are some simple tools to help you reach that goal of starting over.
Yeah, and we'll get into Tyrell Law as well, and we'll talk about that in a bit. And I think starting over in that theme, when I think about especially what you're doing, helping individuals with immigration and starting over in a new country, like all of these things, I feel like there's some parallels there, isn't there?
There's definitely parallels with starting over in business, starting over in my life, and starting over in the new country. These lessons that I put in the book, in the chapter that I participated in, thank you again for allowing me to participate in this, applies to personal life, it applies to professional life, and it definitely applies when you're moving, even if you're moving from one city to another city or from one state to another state, and especially when you're moving from one country to another country. So
Mhm.
this is not just one aspect, this is for a variety of areas in your life.
Yeah. And I know whenever we start a book project, and for those that are maybe newer to the brand or to the Mission Matters platform, so one of the things that we do is we scour the country, we scour the globe, and we look for the best authors that we can bring together, and to come together to contribute to a book, and then we of course publish that book and we distribute it. And the idea here is really to create really good content that others can learn from, myself included. Every single book that we've published, that we release, I mean, I learn from it. I'm a student as well, and I'm learning from our authors and the benefit of their knowledge and their experiences, as are, I hope, the readers and the listeners and everybody else that participates with us in the brand. So that's the spirit of the project. And so every time we start a new book project, every time we bring together a new group of business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives, I learn something new, Charles. It just happens every single time, and what keeps me in this business. I mean, I'm a lifelong learner. For all the lifelong readers and learners out there, you get it. Like, it doesn't matter how far you go in your career, what age, background, nothing. Like, it's that thirst for knowledge. So I guess that's been my experience, Charles. I'll kind of turn that question back on you. Like, what have you learned from the result of kind of going through this publishing process and or just experience to look within to pull out content really to be published? Because it's not an easy thing to do.
You asked me what my mission statement was for Tyrell Law. The thing is, I have a mission statement, a personal mission statement that I used to put up in my house, in my office, which literally is learn each day and share what I learned with others. And this gave me an opportunity to do that because a lot of the lessons I learned are personal lessons, are lessons that I learned from clients, and lessons that I've learned on my own personal journey by following different people such as Dave Ramsey, Grant Cardone, John Maxwell. People like that, just people who are experts in their field, getting information from them and then learning and not holding it within, but also sharing it with as many people as I can. And by contributing to this book, I'm hoping, and I believe, because I know how great your company is and the reach that you have, which is greater than mine, this is a way for me to help share that knowledge with others.
Yeah, it's great. And so what do you hope some of the things are? And I know there's a lot to unpack here, but like what are like kind of broad strokes? What are some of the things that you hope people walk away with, whether it's knowledge, a feeling, like what are after they read your work?
The main thing that I hope that people learn and understand is that they can do it. A lot of times we're held back because we believe that, we're in where we are because that is our comfort zone. And we have to step out in faith, and we have to step out in a challenge to change and disrupt our lives. The saying is, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, keep expecting the same result. So you have to have some courage. You have to have some faith to step out and start over and go to a new country, to start a new business. And it's just that you have it within you. If you just follow these things and think about it, you have it within you. Don't be stuck in the same rut. If you're not happy, you have the ability to change it. And here's are ways that you can change it.
Through going through this process, and I mean more so the process of looking within to pull out content and stories and things to share with others, because again, it's a revealing thing. Was there anything that surprised you, or that kind of like you look back and you were like, oh, I didn't expect that, and that was just another benefit? Like, was there anything that surprised you?
I think one of the things that surprised me was in the beginning when I talk about staying within the field, something that you and you experience. As I talked, and I didn't really go too much in depth about that, but in 2016, because of something that was going on personally with me, I felt I needed to start over, and I had a couple of different routes to do it. And I could have either gone into immigration law and started my own immigration firm back then, but because I loved the people that I worked with, because I loved the clients that I had, I chose not to do that. And I tried to do something else, and I struggled, and it was because I was going outside of something that I was truly 100% comfortable with. And then in 2020, the pandemic happens, everything else happened. My personal life had changed, the firm had changed, and I needed to truly start over from scratch. At that point, I was ready and felt comfortable. This is where I need to do. So sometimes the other thing is, just think about it now. We have an idea that we want to start over, and you know how we are. We want things now. That's how we are. We want to do it now.
Entrepreneurs don't have patience, and they want it done now, and they think it's going to take less money and less time to achieve their goal. No, don't tell me that, Charles.
Well, yes. And sometimes you're just not ready. And sometimes you have to be a little bit patient. And that's also something that I didn't even put into the chapter, but as we're discussing right now, something that I realized. So for those of you who are thinking of starting over, also make plans, make plans, reach out to people that are reach out with people that are going to help you. And when I say people that are going to help you, don't go to mom and dad. Okay. Because mom and dad loves you, but mom and dad's not going to give you the best advice because they're scared for you, because they love you and they don't want to see you fail. And you have to be comfortable with failing, because you're going to fail when you're starting over.
It's good. It's good, and I'm just sitting here thinking about you talking about you know, the amount of time something would take, or the way that you think something would work out versus otherwise. I mean, a lot of entrepreneurs that are watching this, and I mean, who are on their, you know, first, second, third, 10th business, who knows how many businesses, right? And for those, like those lifelong learners and entrepreneurs that just keep on going and pivoting and doing doing what they feel it takes to succeed and not giving up. What are some of the things that you tell them, for those entrepreneurs out there that are maybe in the middle of starting over, or are, you know, considering it because of, you know, a lot of different things over the last couple of years, pandemic, a lot of other things that have taken place that may have affected businesses and otherwise. Like, what would you tell to those that are maybe in the middle of that starting over process right now?
Well, it's something that you just said. Don't give up. The only way you guarantee failure is if you quit. I mean, that is it. And there's going to be hard times. Nobody has done anything and it's been easy. You know,
Yeah.
you've got, you know, Albert Einstein failed second grade, you know, Michael Jordan didn't make the varsity team when he was, you know, a sophomore in high school.
Hmm.
I mean, you can go through countless examples. Thomas Edison failed many, many times before he ever had a breakthrough. You know, you're gonna fail, but if you give up, that's the only way you're gonna guarantee that you're gonna lose. And I remember speaking to a client back in October of 2020, taking her to a restaurant, sitting down, and she was broken, and she's just crying, and she's like, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can, you know, and she's pouring her heart out to me. And I look at her and I say, you have this within you. Every
Hmm.
successful person goes through what you're going through right now. And the ones that succeed are the ones that push through.
Hmm.
The ones that succeed are the ones that are the ones that continue to go, because at some point you're going to break through. And
Hmm.
sure enough, when I spoke to her like 3 months later, 4 months later, she started seeing a huge change in her business and a huge uptake in her business. And she was like, she looked at me and said, thank you so much, because you believed in me, because of the advice that you gave to me, I was able to stick through it and succeed. Um, Now, as I say that, I do want to put a disclaimer.
Yeah.
Some things you are going to fail at and you're just not good at. You know, I love basketball. I will never be an NBA player. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I love golf. I will never win the Masters. Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't have it within me. But most things, you know, you do have it within you. But
Mhm.
there are sometimes you're doing something, you're running up against the wall. You need to actually be honest with yourself. Am I running up against the wall because this is the field I should be in and I just
Mhm.
need to break through, or this is something I shouldn't be doing at all?
Yeah.
And only
And
you can answer that.
And speaking of honesty, and I've heard this like time and time again, and I am not that I hold myself out there as a business coach or claim that I have it all figured out, because I'm working on myself as an entrepreneur. But one thing that I've been told on my journey is that a lot of times when something fails, or when something, you know, didn't work out, the individual will, after they look back, they'll kind of do a deep dive into their self, and they look inward and they're like, you know, I didn't think that was going to work, and I understand why now. So when it comes back to that honesty and just thinking about, like, if it's something you truly want, right? Like, so
Yeah.
not using your golf example or any other thing like that, but even just something that's more maybe tangible, right? Like, not even pie in the sky, but maybe you started an ice cream shop because you thought you were supposed to start it, and all of a sudden you find yourself in this mess, and you're like, do I even want to own an ice cream shop? Like, just to, you know, is this really my calling? Maybe it is, by the way, and if it is, you keep going. But if it's not, it's also just having the enough honesty and looking inward and saying, okay, maybe this isn't my path. And if it's not my path, you know, the sooner you acknowledge that, the sooner you make way for new opportunities. Because while you're focused on one thing that maybe your heart's not all the way in, you may be kind of not even unknowingly, you may be turning away great opportunities that may have been a better fit.
Well, and that's true. And the other thing is that one thing that we always have to remember is that it's not truly failure when you learn from it. And in situations like that, when you go back and you do this self-analysis and realize this wasn't something I truly had passion for,
Yeah.
because that's what it is. If you don't have the passion, it makes it much harder. If you're not excited to get up and go into the work the next day,
Yeah.
everybody goes through that at least some point. But if you're waking up every single day for like months at a time and you're not excited to go to work, you probably need to go into a different field. And that's the self-analysis that you're talking about. And it's hard because at that point, when you reach that, that's when you got to start all over again. And, you got to courage to start over, but then look at why you failed so that you can then make better decisions as you're moving forward.
Yeah, and the starting over point, it may seem sometimes like a setback, but I think it's Joel who says it could be a setup, right? So it could be that what you perceived as a setback, it could be a setup leading you on to something much better that you had no idea, like that was in front of you. Like if I look at my own life and I look at some of the things that didn't work out the way I wanted to, I'm like, wow, I'm glad that didn't work out, because if I would have got that, I wouldn't have this. So it's kind of a give and take, and it's a process for everybody. But your overall theme, and you're writing in this book, which, by the way, so everybody watching, we sell books. We will have this in the show notes and all that good stuff, so you can pick up a copy, because today was just a little tip of the iceberg for what Charles wrote about, but I definitely wanted to get your appetite wet for this book and for many of the other authors that are in the book as well. So lots of great content in there. So Charles, I do want to spend some time in this interview, especially for those that maybe didn't catch our first interview together, talking about Tyrell Law. So you mentioned immigration law. Tell us a little bit more about the firm and what you do just overall.
Well, yes, it's an immigration law firm. And what we do is we particularly work with entrepreneurs and professionals to come to the United States, whether it be they open their own business, whether or not it be that they find a new job in the United States, but it's finding ways for people to legally immigrate to the United States so that they can start over in a new country with the most efficient possible way, best possible way, so they can have peace and comfort, because no one's leaving their home country because they have to. Everybody leaves. Hold on, I said that wrong. That was the wrong way to say it. Nobody's leaving their home country because they want to. They feel that they have to, be it for security reasons, economic reasons, whatever. And the thing is, we understand that at Tyrell Law. Everybody that works at Tyrell Law has gone through the immigration process, or they're immigrants themselves, or you look at me, I look gringo, I look white, I look Caucasian, I look American as American can be. But my grandfather, my dad's father, he immigrated in the 1950s from the UK. The people that are closest to me in my life are people that immigrated from foreign countries. So, it's a personal, deep feeling, something that I'm very passionate about, because I see how what I do changes other people's lives. And I want to be there step by step to guide them to make the right decisions to help them have the best possible chance of success in the United States. And part of what I wrote about is also some of the things I've learned by working with immigrants to the United States, what they have, or foreign nationals, what they have experienced, where they have struggled, where they have succeeded. So, I learn a lot from my clients. I'm not just there to help them through. I'm learning from them, just like as you said. Every day we're trying to learn, and I take every experience that I can, and I'm learning about new businesses. I learn about what succeeds, what fails, what makes people happy, what makes them, struggle. And, I have a passion for this because I truly care. It's great to, it was funny going out to dinner with my girlfriend a couple of weeks ago. She was talking about a restaurant. I was like, oh yeah, that was my client. Really? I said, yeah, that was my client. I got them the visa to be able to open up and run that business. She goes, you're kidding me. I said, no, that's what I do. And I think that was the first time it really dawned on her, wow, he's really helping people.
It's great. It's a great story, Charles. And one of the reasons, again, excited to have you part of this most recent release of our Business Leader series of Mission Matters. So that being said, I have to ask, I know a busy guy, I'm doing the book promo, growing practice, thriving practice. What's next? I mean, what's next for you? What's next for Tyrell Law?
I'd say the next thing that we're doing is, I mean, we're continuing to grow. We're continuing to find ways to reach out and help people. And, my goal is to help 300 people in 2023, 300 families in 2023. This
Mm,
year, I want to have about 200 families that I've helped. Next year, I
mhm.
want to have 300. And I just want to keep growing. And by the 2025, I want to be helping 1,000 families come to the United States, legally
Amazing.
live in the United States and get residency. The main thing is getting residency in the United
Mm,
States, finding legal opportunities.
mhm,
So by 2025, I want to help 1,000 families, and I want to start being there when people get sworn in to become citizens, because I know
mhm.
that like it's a great experience for them, and I want to be there to show people, hey, remember that time when you thought you couldn't move to the United States? Well, look, you're a US citizen. Just think about,
Yeah.
like, these past, 6 years, 7 years,
Mhm,
all that you've accomplished. Look at how great that is. And I've been with you all those 7 years.
mhm.
This is much my success as it is yours.
Yeah. It's wonderful. If somebody's watching this and they want to connect with you and your team, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, honestly, the best way was go to our website, www.tntvisa.com. You
Mhm,
go to our website, you're going to get all the social media links, just as you have it underneath for Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. I do a YouTube video once a week. YouTube is TNT Visa, all one word.
mm,
Subscribe to it. I'm updating it every week. If I get
mm,
new information about immigration, I'm going to blog about it. I'm going to put it in the video. But I'm just trying to keep in much touch with what's going on with the current field, and sharing that information with
mm.
people so that they can make informed decisions on how they want to come to the U.S.
It's awesome. And we'll put all that information into the show notes so that all the people watching this, you can just head right on over, just click on the links and check out Charles and his team. And speaking of our viewers and listeners, if this is your first time engaging with the Mission Matters episode or the platform, we're all about bringing on entrepreneurs, executives, and experts and having them share why they do what they do, like what excites them about it, what gets them fired up to go out into the marketplace and into the world and make that difference every day. If that's the type of content that interests you or it sounds exciting or fun or engaging, we welcome you to hit that subscribe button, because we have many more mission-based entrepreneurs coming up on the line, and we don't want you to miss a thing. And Charles, congrats again on being published in the book. So excited and proud to have been able to get your work and your words out there. So thanks again and congrats.
Thank you again just for the opportunity to be a part of this, Adam.